It's a new year, Tiff.
New year, new weather, new climate change. That's what they say.
Yeah, speaking of climate change, it barely snowed in Toronto so far. I keep hearing the words El Nino.
Ah, yes, little boy, little brother. I don't speak Spanish.
No, I think it's like El Nino is like the warm weather coming in and it's doing something with climate and we're experiencing like fall for an extended period of time.
You know what? On the 2024 vision board, learn Spanish so I can know what El Nino means.
See.
The next station is So I Heard Podcast. So I Heard Podcast Station.
Welcome to the So I Heard podcast brought to you by Tiff and Dan. This is the wild eavesdropping podcast where Dan and I write down prompts of overheard conversations we've taken from the streets of Toronto. We have no idea where we're going with this. We're unscripted, unhinged. So every time you hear that So I Heard prompt, listen for it and it will take you on a wild adventure.
All right. So the first, so I heard. You guys make fun of me because you speak French and English, but these are croissants.
A croissant with a nice espresso.
Yeah, I think like when you see croissants, I feel like I would want to say croissant, but I feel like I'd be offending everybody.
So that's a brings a good question. Like, what if you do speak French and you're just speaking perfect English? Like, do you say the French word properly, or do you say it with an English accent?
I think it depends on who you're with. If you're with other francophones, you can do your normal croissant. This is the espresso. But if you're with like English speaking people, I feel like I would find you not presumptuous, not I would find you annoying of sorts.
This man also does not know how to speak English. Way to pull up the ESL right at the beginning of the podcast, Dan. The best part about that, what you just did there, was I didn't know espresso was Southern, and also it's Italian. So we're really EUing it up here, like
Yeah, I also
pro
so
EU.
fun fact, I studied English as one of my majors in university. I'm terrible at English. I didn't know you're not there's no X when you say or enunciate espresso. For the longest time I was calling it espresso.
Yeah, talk about talk about talk about it. As in tacos, Tex-Mex food.
We're going around the world today. We're starting off in France, then we're going to Italy. Now we're in Mexico. Next is
I know I really should have kept it with the EU and just went Spanish, but they do not eat tacos in Spain either. So I don't know where I was going with that.
what's the cuisine of Spain? What's like the thing they're most known for?
Oh, I was about to just be like Spanish food, Dan. I believe they eat Spanish food in Spain, not Mexican.
Is it?
And they don't speak Mexican in Mexico. They do speak Spanish.
I would figure. I guess I'm gonna say Spain. What is Spanish food? Is it like
Tapas?
tapas? Tapas you can't say funny, and no one's gonna make fun of you of saying tapas.
No, I think yeah. See, good point. Like that is a Spanish word, and we just say tapas.
What's another culturally referenced food that you can say in a funny way that people might look at you in a funny way?
That's a great question.
Prosciutto.
Parmesan Reggiano.
Fettuccine Alfredo.
I don't know if anyone would not look at you at a funny way when you, a Korean man, says that.
I think Italian food is always an upward inflation. Spaghetti carbonara. It's always upward. It's never baritone.
What about past the maple syrup, eh? Like you have to do that.
I think Canadian food is no one's gonna look at you funny here, right? It's just pass me the pea meal bacon, eh?
Okay, but then we get run into that gray area with poutine. which is, a bit of a French word, but a Canadian food.
Yeah, what is the French or the Montreal French pronunciation of poutine? Poutine?
Putin? Yeah.
Lame.
Not Putin.
We're definitely not Putin. Yeah, I guess if you were in a relationship with someone, if you were English and they were French, would you want your partner to speak in the same tone as you?
Like anglicize everything to me.
Exactly.
Um, I would want them to be true to themselves. So, do they want to be pretentious or not?
Pretentious, that's the word. That's the word of the day. Pretentious. That's the one I completely forgot about. I don't know. I guess if I was the I was gonna say sore thumb, but I guess you can be a sore thumb if you're the individual. If everyone else is French and you're English and everyone is making fun of you, you're technically a sore thumb. But I don't know. I would also want my partner to be their most authentic self.
Yeah, you know what the best part about all this is that we're just speaking about languages that we know nothing about when we both could be talking about Korean and Chinese food. Like, okay, like kimchi. Is that a Korean word?
It technically is, but it's just pronounced kimchi. It's
Yeah,
like
so that exactly, but like how would you say it in Korean?
kimchi. I don't know. I'm too whitewashed to know that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a better example.
All right.
Okay. It's like the word Beijing, like that took a lot out of me to say it like a white person, Like you just say Beijing, that's the Mandarin word for that.
What's the Mando or Cantonese word for Happy New Year?
Well, they're different because they are different languages.
I think it's probably Mandarin is the Gong Hei Fat Choi.
Nope, that's the Cantonese version.
When I was younger, everyone just obviously I was like the token Asian of my kindergarten class. Everyone just came up to me and say Gong Hei Fat Choi. I was like, you racist motherfucker.
I'm so proud that you were swearing at such a young age. Dan.
Yeah,
Like I'm just picturing little Dan, just you racist motherfucker.
I got a Super Bowl haircut, like just a bowl haircut, and just flipping birds. Gong Hei Fat Choi to you, MFers.
Oh, wow. Get lucky, get rich is really what he's saying there. So I heard for every blow, she needed to use a new Kleenex.
Every blow. Are we talking like a blow to the face, or are we talking like a sneeze?
I mean, I just overheard this, so I guess it's for us to think about. Honestly, Kleenex not a great brand. They should have totally be using puffs and with the lotion, because then they would not need a new Kleenex.
Oh, are you reusing Kleenexes if there's
no?
lotion?
But you don't like you don't. You can definitely handle more than one sneeze per tissue. Also, the best part is Kleenex is a brand and not an object.
Yeah, it's like what's the thing, that Bernstein Bears effect or whatever? Not that actually.
No, that is a completely different concept that you're talking about here.
But
do not take educational advice from this podcast.
When you're blowing your nose, there's a technique, right? You fold once, you blow. You fold again, you blow. You fold again, you blow. So technically, a single tissue is used multiple times.
That's what I'm saying. And like, while you're usually a three-fold man.
Yeah, 3. I'll go 4. If I can fold a 5th time, I will just poke it in my nose to get a little extra.
Wow. So your tissues can handle like quite a bit of load there.
Yeah, you gotta get the extra thick, the double ply. No single ply in my household.
Well, I don't know. This person just should have followed that advice. I don't know what they were doing with just one blow for one Kleenex. Yeah, that ratio.
They sound super rich. That's what I'm getting. They're very rich.
That Kleenex budget must be insane.
Yeah, I feel like if you're super rich, you're not blowing your nose in regular tissue paper. I'm expecting like gold foiled paper that they're just blowing
that
into.
Sounds very uncomfortable for your nose. I will not be investing in that business anytime soon.
If not tissue paper, what are you blowing your nose into in an emergency situation?
Okay, you know what? The fact that handkerchiefs are a thing, and are they still a thing? Is that socially acceptable? I find it disgusting that ever was a concept.
I just don't know why you'd give it back. If someone has a handkerchief and you let someone use it to blow their nose, you can keep it.
let's just talk about that concept. Like, My Fair Lady days. It's like some gentleman offers you a handkerchief, or like a lady drops a handkerchief. It's like, why were everyone carrying those around back in the day?
Yeah, or just carry your own handkerchief. Carry all the handkerchiefs.
But then
in your
how
own.
will I drop something and then let a man pick it up for me and get their attention?
Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know. I think it is such a foreign concept of borrowing someone's fabric to blow your nasties in and then just handing it back.
I don't know how often they're washing that.
Yeah, that seems like a bacteria spreading little station, little vehicle there.
That's the original like Super Like or Send a Rose, whatever the paid for thing is on the apps these days.
Yeah, if you have a super used handkerchief,
Yeah,
you're dealing with a high baller.
Yeah, you're dropping that on the ground, first of all, on the dirty ground, and then waiting for a man to pick that up for you.
So gross. But I guess it's like if I'm in the olden times where I'm a gentleman man or a gentleman, I can also be a gentleman man. But if I'm a gentleman and I'm picking up handkerchiefs, do you want a clean handkerchief, knowing that this person has never thrown their handkerchief on the ground, or you want like a little rough around the edges?
Oh, so it's really indicating quite a bit there. You just know what you're getting yourself into right away. Like the color of the handkerchief. Maybe there were signals. We don't know. Honestly, I think we need to on the next episode we interview someone who has used
1930s from their handkerchiefs.
On the handkerchief days, like, was there this whole code system that we didn't know about? Like, what does a checkered handkerchief mean?
Yeah, this is like, I'm just thinking maybe the handkerchief was the dating profile, before technology. It's got a fun little pattern. It's got like little crisscrosses on the corners. It's a little cut off. It's a little raggedy. And then my signal is like, this person is creative. They're a little outside the box thinking. This is someone I want to wifey up.
Heard it here first, folks. Sponsor us once we go into our handkerchief business.
All right. So I heard. I kept asking him to stop, but he kept hiking the shorts up.
Sorry, I'm just visualizing this whole moment for this lady, or woman, man. I don't know. And I just love to know the context of this. Like, were they on a hike? Were they in the bedroom? Did they have enough Kleenex?
Blowing your nose on your shorts is definitely the last resort.
I just would love to know the physics about that. Like, you have to be pretty flexible to do that.
Yeah, or in a very provocative.
Tell us more, Dan. What kind of provocative area?
How
flexible are you? Where are you going?
Blowing your nose on someone else's shorts, you're in a very provocative zone.
Someone else's shorts. Okay, there we go.
But this context is they were hiking. This was a little while back. We're in a hiking path, and this was just a conversation just came up.
I love the double entendre, of you're hiking and you're hiking up your shorts. Like, they just really wanted to feel the full extent of that word.
Yeah, maybe it's the, thinking of the olden days of the 30s. Maybe this person was just showing too much skin, and they weren't ready for that stage yet.
But it sounds like they kept hiking up the shorts.
Right. Someone wanted to advance.
They wanted to advance, the more skin they're showing, and just keep going with it.
Yeah. I know. I just think it's especially if you're in the sun, you want those shorts down. Protect yourself from the sun. Don't get burnt.
Honestly, regardless of like genital parts that were involved, sounds painful for just everyone involved. Like, I don't know why you would ever want to keep hiking your shorts up.
Yeah, I also
it's just gonna hurt eventually.
Are hiking shorts naturally tight, or like a spandex, or is it like a cargo shorts?
They're usually more of a cargo short, Stan.
Interesting. Yeah. Definitely don't want to hike up those. It's just going to keep falling down.
Yeah. That's why they were
there you go.
Hiking in a lap.
With that note, thanks so much again. Stay tuned for the next one.